coaching call that I wanted to do for you guys because, I love you and I appreciate you and I want to give back to you and give you the same success that I have found. So this training, we are talking about the secret list of landlords. Now let's preface why this is so important. First of all, this is important because of COVID. I can't tell you how many deals that we are still working on because the landlord is tired of dealing with the tenant. Some are ugly. Some are terrible situations where the tenant is just absolutely unwilling to move. Literally, I have a deal that she has locked herself in, boarded up her windows, has excommunicated everybody, and it is just a deal that is continuing to exist. And so that is happening. But in general, I think there is more and more landlords that are trying to get rid of their properties. And that's just because of everything that's happening, the moratorium on evictions. And I think just if people don't have a certain number of rental properties, then the headache of owning 1, 2, 3, or 4 just isn't worth it to a lot of people anymore. And so they are becoming a very, very important asset for you guys to be targeting. I'd highly encourage you to be targeting landlords in the lists that you create. I don't care if you're calling them, texting them, direct mail, door knocking them. I would encourage you to be going after absentee homeowners and landlords because I believe those are going to be highly motivated, right? Not everyone is incredibly financially motivated, but highly motivated enough that it's a good target. So there is an actual secret list that I want to show you guys how to get. And then obviously, whether you call it or mail it or whatever you may do, please feel free. So first, you're going to need PropStream. So if you don't have PropStream, go over to tsofdata.com, and use promo code TSOF. It will give you 7 days for free. Or you can go to PropStream.com and use promo code TSOF, and it'll give you 7 days for free. And so first you need PropStream. I'm going to share my screen now for you guys. Share screen. And then I want to jump into my PropStream account. So I'm going to show you my entire list. This is in my entire marketing list in the sense of when people ask me what list do I target, I'm going to show it to you right now. But then I'm also going to give you this secret list of landlords that I believe is going to really help you guys, at least have better conversations with people that are motivated. So first, let's just go in and I'm in several different markets. I'm actually launching Milwaukee next Monday, this coming Monday, which I believe is the 14th or 15th. So I'm very excited about that. And so we're in Oklahoma City, we're in Phoenix, Tucson, we're about to launch Milwaukee and likely gonna launch Tulsa, Oklahoma as well. And so let me show you the list that I use across all of my cities. First of all, I will typically go absentee. That's to start, right? So that means that they don't own the home. I don't care if it's occupied or vacant. Property characteristics is I use, as soon as my computer will allow me to, I use residential, and then I do single family. Now, in my main market, Phoenix, I will also include townhome and condo. In my main market, I include those because I do invest in single families, townhomes, and condos. But in my virtual markets, Oklahoma City, Tucson, and now soon to be Milwaukee, I do not choose condos and townhomes. I simply invest in single family homes. And then I will go down MLS. I say no, I don't want it listed. I don't worry about the pre-foreclosure bank owned. Owner information, I want at minimum, I want 7 years of home ownership, okay, at minimum. I also want to make sure I'm targeting individuals, people that can make a decision, okay? So I don't want to be targeting corporations or trusts or mixed. I just want to go directly to someone who, if I call them, they can answer the phone and they can actually, handle my questions and potentially sell, okay? So remember this part, ownership info, okay? We're going to get back to this. And then lastly, guys, I like to be in markets that tend to be under the national median, okay? So under the national median. So I think the national median right now is like roughly 325,000, give or take. So I try to say max value 200,000. Now, in certain markets, that number just won't be enough. Like I'm finding out in Milwaukee, there are areas of Milwaukee that price point just doesn't give me enough records to make it worth it. So I actually have to increase that price, but still good markets. But I tend to want to stay under 200,000 because ultimately it becomes a good rental and or it becomes a great flip. Okay. So that is the list that I would choose each and every time. This is my list. Pause the video, write it down, rewind it. This is my list. Now, this will ultimately give me landlords specifically because I'm saying owner occupied, no. Okay. So again, I could also do any right here, which would give me owner occupied and absentee. It'll give me both. Or I could do only owner occupied. Okay. I can mix any of that up. But let's just say I go any. Now here, if you remember, I reminded you to say ownership info. Here is where, and then in here, if I just go to Phoenix, Arizona, with these filters, Phoenix, Arizona gave me 3,400 single family homes, owned 7 years, under $200,000, etc. Like all the filters. Now, I did not put high equity on there. Okay. I just did absentee homeowners and the rest of the filters, residential, single family, not on the market, 7 years or more ownership, individual owned, and then $200,000 or less, right? Now, here's your secret list. If you go back to ownership info and you want to find some landlords, put number of properties owned and put 4 or whatever the number may be. This means that same owner has at least 4 properties. This is going to be your secret sauce. This is going to be a list that doesn't get marketed to. And all of a sudden that 3,400 went down to 1,200 properties. And then you can start to sift through ownership, right? So again, this is under filters. This is under ownership info. And it is under number of properties owned. And I want 4. If this became number of properties owned 7, I bet my number would be a whole lot less. 520. So there are 520 homeowners that have at least 7 properties that they don't live in. Those 520 people have what we call a rental portfolio. Now, if we do believe that right now is a good time to be marketing to sellers who are landlords, then I would make the argument right now is a good time to market to those who actually have multiple rentals. Okay. Now, what do you do from here? I'll tell you, you go over to batch skip tracing, you pull the list out, you go to batchskiptracing.com, use promo code TSOF. That will give you 3 cents off of your skip tracing. Use promo code TSOF at batchskiptracing.com. It'll give you a big discount, and then you start calling them. Whether you use your trusty old cell phone, whether you use Mojo Cells, whether you use Zen Call, maybe you even, like me, I have 16 cold callers. I have them start dialing, and I am asking them if they're looking to sell any of their portfolio. So that was 7 homes that someone owned. You can make it less. It could be 2 or more. Maybe you target 2 or more. So your list is a little bigger. But the reality is then you can skip trace the phone numbers, use promo code TSOF, and then you can call them and use launch control. I use launch control to text the same homeowners. So I go to launchcontrol.us, let them know that you heard of us, heard of them through Science of Flipping and or Justin Colby. And they will give you a hookup, and then you text them as well. You not only call them, but you text them. Now, again, whether you call them from your cell phone, whether you have triple line dialer, whether you have cold callers, this is a secret list, guys. This is a list most people aren't even aware of. I encourage you to look it up. I encourage you to target it. And I encourage you to have as many conversations with these homeowners is absolute possible. Okay. This is huge, huge. Again, this was a little pop-up coaching session for you guys. Go over to PropStream, pull that list. It's under ownership info. From there, you can skip trace it over at batchskiptracing.com. Use promo code TSOF. And you guys are rolling. This is a list that almost no one, I mean, literally, I would say no one else is using.